welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Amogbe.
Good morning. Glad you could join us on the show. I'm Tyson.
Always a delight to have you join us to talk sports. I'm Austin Okon-akpan. I will begin the show this morning nowhere else but from Dakar, Senegal, where it's a win or win encounter when Coach Samson Siasia boys takes on Algeria. The national under 23 team, they're looking for a ticket to the 2016 Rio Olympics. Can they get it? A must-win game for them.
They definitely have to get it, and they must win that game. And from the under 23 championship, talking about what is happening right there at the headquarters, FIFA, 16 more officials have been arrested. So this saga continues.
Definitely, the clampdown continues, and I wonder who's next on the list. Also on the show, Tyson Fury's camp have threatened to bin the IBF belt if the boxing body goes on with its plan to strip their fighter of his title because they want him to fight their mandatory challenger. But these guys are ready to fight Vladimir Klitschko.
Vladimir Klitschko, there's no date for it yet, so he needs to fight that challenger.
No, yeah, but the situation is they've got a contract, before the fight that he's got to be Vladimir Klitschko versus Tyson Fury next. But the International Boxing Federation have come out to say, wait, guys, you've got a mandatory challenger here. You've got to face him first.
Yes,
so there's an impasse there now, and I wonder how they're going to resolve this.
And I'm wondering where the threat is coming from. Why is the IBF throwing all those threats and then Peter Fury coming out to say, this is just a disgrace. What's going on?
Yeah,
they're not showing us love.
And he's threatening to actually put a belt in a dustbin. that would be embarrassing for the boxing body. They don't want that to happen, really.
When we see these things as insults, that's what some boxing fans out there want to see. It's all about talks as these that makes it intense. That when next Tyson Fury is coming out to fight, he's all calm. They are all fired up to come out, and do something different. It's boxing, and this talk is going along with it.
Exactly. Once I heard about the particular threat from the IBF, I knew the Fury camp were going to swing back, and that's what they've done.
Yeah.
They seem to like to punch a lot, with your fist and with your mouth.
Yes,
that's what they've done in this particular situation. Hopefully, it doesn't get to that case, though. Hopefully, it doesn't get to that.
I think Tyson Fury is just being stubborn. He actually needs to fight that mandatory challenger.
Yeah.
It was an agreement before the fight against Klitschko, and now he wants a rematch. So he should have that fight first before start thinking of fighting Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah, but they've got a
right
contract.
now, there's no date for it, right?
Yes.
There's no date fixed yet. People are looking at March or April. So before that, he should be able to, do what the IBF is actually telling him to do.
Okay, we'll see about that. But then it is obvious the Fury camp, they only have one man in their sight.
That's it.
And that's Klitschko. Because, but seriously, how much are they going to get from actually fighting this mandatory challenger, Lakov? That's his name, Lakov.
He says he usually fights, not for the money, but for the prestige, and of course, knowing that he fights to win. He is unbeaten, right? So he should fight the man.
Okay, Austin.
I'm just seeing it from different point of views, Tayo, and I'm saying, if I belong to the Fury camp, I won't fight a mandatory fight because I just want to beat Klitschko again, sustain the momentum. Because it's boxing. What if I go out and knock me out in that fight before I get to meet Klitschko again?
I agree.
There's a lot of psychological play going on here.
Austin, I was listening to Sonny Young when he was talking on Sport Tonight last night. He was talking about the fight. We talked about the punch and all that. It wasn't what we expected. Now, people really don't want to see that fight immediately.
What fight?
Klitschko and
Fury. We all want to see the fight.
Let's just see what he's going to do in between before the fight
What is now?
And
come
if
on,
the
come
fight
on,
against
Cecilia.
his challenger comes before the fight against Klitschko, then he should just fight.
Right now,
level of expectation.
If he gets to lose, people actually say Sonny Young said something. He's someone that may not actually last in that heavyweight battle category, which I think it's possible because if you check the way he fights, it's not like the everyday heavyweight that we know.
Yes,
so,
but there's only one fight out there that boxing fans are interested in.
The heavyweight category.
In heavyweight category, it's the rematch.
That's what it is.
Not the mandatory challenger. No, never heard of him before.
Even with everything going on in the welterweight,
it's been there.
Cecilia, with everything going on in the welterweight division, everyone is still waiting for that rematch between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr. Yes!
Some people are actually holding out that Mayweather will come out of retirement,
just
to give a rematch to Pacquiao.
I
So
want to see it.
I'm afraid Laskov No disrespect to him. He's a great boxer as well too. But then
But
right
not
now,
now.
he just he has to bide his time. Let the rematch go on, and he might get a shot later on. Or worst comes to worst, Tyson Fury vacates the belt and goes on to fight Vladimir Klitschko. He will still have the WB or WBA titles to himself.
Okay.
We love it when you're involved. It gets interesting because, of course, you know how it goes down in our world of sports. You can talk to us on Twitter. Our feedback mechanism, they've not changed. On Twitter, we're channels_sports. And on Facebook, we're channels-sports. You want to join the discussion? See, we're leaving it with these 3 crucial topics. The CAF Under-23 Cup of Nations. Crucial game for Nigeria against Algeria tomorrow. Do you think Coach Samson Siasia and his team can win that game and actually keep hopes alive of qualifying for the 2016 Rio Olympics? Huge question. We'll talk about that today on the show. We'll also talk about this FIFA saga. People are being picked up. We're glad in this part of the world we're safe with the Swiss and the American police, but it's not looking good for FIFA officials. We'll talk about the FIFA saga, and of course, we started the show with that bad punch from the Tyson Fury camp, saying it's a disgrace that the IBF is forcing them to, fight an opponent they don't see as an opponent. So Klitschko Fury will still get us talking, guys.
Okay, and before that, we just quickly talk about what is happening right now in Valencia. You had Gary Neville, of course, he's been unveiled. Well, he's looking for someone to actually teach him Spanish. Ty, I know you speak a little bit of it, but we can wake up as early as 6 a.m., and go.
Cecilia, my Spanish is not as good as that. I still need someone to, brush me up.
Spanish is as good as your Yoruba.
What do you mean? What do you mean? No, but seriously, this is a stunning appointment. No one has seen this coming at all. And it's a massive challenge for Gary Neville.
I'm telling you, Valencia.
Like, that's a big club, after the Madrids and the Barcelona.
Yeah, you start looking at Valencia.
Exactly, and he's got this job now until the end of the season, and he's got a massive job to do.
Yes.
It's going to be very tough for him. He's an excellent pundit. Cecilia, I know you're a big fan of him, but then transitioning into coaching is totally different, and that's his unveiling right there to the media in Valencia, and hopefully he does a good job.
Yeah, he said he didn't really want to miss the opportunity because if he had turned it down, it would have been something different. And if you check the owner of Valencia, I mean, actually co-owned, or so to speak, has a stake, in the club, co-owned by Gary.
Yes,
the 3 of them, the class of 92 has a Southport City, club, a non-league football club like that. So the owner of Valencia has a stake in that particular club. Talking about Peter Lim, I think that was the reason he looked at the 4 of them and felt, okay, maybe this man can actually do a better job till the end of the season. And if he performs so well, who knows? He might just, have the job on a longer term. And it's going to be facing a huge task. I mean, Valencia, of course, they're playing the Champions League. They're playing Olympic Lyon this week, this next weekend. So next week. So it shows that for him, it's a tough job because you just coming in your first managerial position. You don't really have that experience, so to speak, because he's on with the England, the technical crew. But he's not. It's really scary. So I'm looking at him like,
are you worried for him?
You're just playing at the club. You're playing at the
Looking
Champions
at him
League
saying he couldn't turn down the offer. It was too good. Wow, take it one step at a time. Valencia, Gary Neville, coaching. Doesn't.
Expectations are high.
So are you saying he hasn't taken it one step at a time? He's been assistant to Roy Hodgson in England. I think he's been able to learn,
I don't know how to say it, but when you
just think the club is too big for him at this stage of his career.
One, because there's a lot of reasons to believe that, and a lot of things have also happened in the past that Gary Neville could go back and look at. Andres Villas-Boas, when he left FC Porto, he was even a top-class manager at FC Porto.
Already,
went to Chelsea, he was too big. What's his name? Our friend David Moyes.
No, he's got, that's different.
And those are top-class managers in their right before going to big clubs.
Austin is just trying to paint the picture of the difficulty ahead of them.
But I think it's if you check Valencia right now, it's not even their defending champions. If you check where they are in the Spanish La Liga, 9th position, 19 points from 30 games. So it shows that you're not really taking over a club who is at the bottom or at the top. It's in the middle.
But you should be able to give them a top 4 finish.
Your focus, exactly. That's going to be the focus. And after Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Valencia is a club you look at. You look at Sevilla. So I think with the way he does his analysis and all that.
That's not the same way. I'm about to bring you back home, but I'm not saying that.
But I think
We don't go
Austin,
back.
no,
That's not what I'm
no.
saying.
No,
See
Austin,
my guy.
Austin.
Gracious
So I'm
goodness.
thinking, if you know the analysis and all that. I mean, you watch players play week in, week out. He says he had experience with some of the Spanish players who came to Man United and all that. So he's seen it all. I think he can actually bring in that experience. His brother, remember, is also part of the coaching crew. So you're going to be having brothers, brothers, taking charge of
Tyler, you know what?
Spanish La Liga club.
I like the optimism Cecilia is giving, but I'm sure Gary Neville will be saying to himself, this is a huge challenge and I need to do something. But you know what? Let's just let our viewers listen to reactions coming out of Gary Neville's appointment as the coach, believe it or not, manager of Valencia. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
I think I could have said goodbye to credibility in football because this is an unbelievable football club with a huge history and I'm proud to be here. Don't see any problems. If Phil wasn't here, I would want him here. He's diligent, hard-working, talented, and from my point of view, I'm delighted that he's here to be a part of the coaching setup and do what he's going to do. My family will move over here permanently. My girls will finish school in Manchester in 2 weeks' time and they'll move over to Valencia with my wife. I always wanted, when I was at the football club that I played at, when foreign players come over to show commitment not just to the city but to everything and to immerse themselves in the culture, and I think it's absolutely vitally important that I show that level of commitment